serving in various capacities. Kevin is a 1982 graduate of Ashland University. And in the community where I know Kevin, he sits on the Village Network Board of Directors, as well as the Wooster Area Chamber of Commerce. He's also on the Ohio Insurance Institute and has served in other capacities. And with that, I'd like to introduce my friend Kevin Day. Thanks.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to tell everybody in the audience a little about Western Reserve Group and our story. And you start feeling old about 2011. I think my daughter graduated from college in 2011. So, yeah, but boy, and I'm an Ashland guy, so I don't hold that against me. It was a college back when I went there, but now it's a prestigious university. So what we're going to do is Matt asked me to spend a little time telling you about Western Reserve Group, a sleepy little company that I think some of you may or may not have heard of in the last few years or so. So I'm going to try by pressing the button first, and that didn't work. So let's try. You said to the right, right? All right, why don't you press it? Oh, the down arrow. You said right or left, I thought. Okay, so you can see I'm technically challenged. That's why it's taken us 15 years to put a new computer system in. Anyhow, so Western Reserve Group, or WRG, who are we? So back in 1906, we were founded by a group of farmers in Seville, Ohio, who felt that they were being charged too much money and didn't receive the proper credit for having lightning rods on their barns. So what they did is, being entrepreneurs, they said, well, if you're gonna charge us X, and I think they went through Matt back then, his agency. Anyhow, they started their own insurance company back in 1906. Thus, the company called Lightning Rod Mutual Insurance Company was started. And that's a heck of a name of the brand, by the way, over the last few years. But we started in 1906. We relocated to Wooster, Ohio, back in, I should say, 1935 on North Market. I don't know if you knew that, but we were on North Market back in 35. In 55, we became what's called a multi-line carrier. So we sold property and casualty insurance. 1987, back in 56, we moved to Cleveland Road, which is where the hospital now has that building that we owned at one point in time. So we were on Cleveland Road in 56. 1987, we went into another state, which was in Indiana. So we bought a company in Indiana back in 1987, and we expanded the building on Cleveland Road back then. So I had been at the Cleveland Road building up until last year, but in 2007, I don't know if you guys are aware, but back on Benton Road, which is right across from the Village and Biotechnigraphics, we built a 70,000 square foot, what was called Service Center or Technology Center. And back last year, we completed our new corporate headquarters, which was 81,000 square feet. So presently we have about over 150,000 square feet of office space, and probably an investment in excess of $40 million that we put in that area. So you can see from back at the beginning, Western Reserve Group, Lightning Rod, we've been committed to the Worcester area. We stay committed to be an active part of this community. So what was our goal? So when I took over, we created a mission, a vision, and core values. And I just want to share with this because some of the areas here, I think, fit quite nicely with the role of the Rotary. And you can see our mission was to fulfill the promises made by providing insurance through partnerships with independent agents, which, by the way, we sell our products exclusively through independent agents, and providing excellent customer experience backed by business practices and strong capital, which is easily said. Now, when I went back and looked at the history of the Rotary, I realized that there was an agent by the name of Walter Whitaker, who actually was one of the founding fathers of the Rotary here in Worcester. Is that correct? That is correct. So actually, it was interesting to see that one of the independent agents, and an agency that we still do business with and sell our products through, was one of the founding members of the Rotary back in 1915, if I remember correctly. Does that sound about right? Maybe. Okay, we'll go with it. What is our vision? To be the preferred choice for property and casualty insurance by maintaining financial stability. You're going to hear me talk about financial stability in a few more of my slides. Controlled growth and long-term profitability. But here's what's really important to me and our team is providing a quality experience for our policyholders, our agents, our employees in the communities, especially which we live and serve. You can see our core values are up on the screen there. Interestingly enough, we talk about professionalism, integrity, service, and social responsibility. And as I look at the mission and the vision of the Rotary, I believe we have a lot of commonalities in what we believe in as an organization. Okay, so now what I have to, I press the button down. Okay, now which one do you want me to try? Okay. So maybe you should stand next to me. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, is that the right?
All right, now can I go back down again? All right.
Yeah.
So what do we do? What do we sell? So Western Reserve Group, we're a property and casualty insurance company. So we're not a health provider. We don't sell life, but property and casualty. And we sell a group of products in Ohio and Indiana. Out of 342 insurance groups in Ohio, we are ranked number 23 by market share. So we sell personal lines insurance. We're ranked number 17, about 178 million, which is personal auto, your home, and your umbrella, which most of you are probably very familiar with. We're number 38 in this state in market share in commercial lines, which is a new product that we've really introduced in the last few years, which is a byproduct that's really helped us grow both commercial auto, our multi-peril, which is your property casualty coverage and your umbrella. But another area you see is farm. We're the number 4 farm operator in the state of Ohio. It shouldn't surprise you since we were founded by a group of farmers. And we're very proud of the heritage and the products that we provide in the farm market. So we're predominantly a personal lines carrier, but we sell commercial and farm as well. This next screen is a little busy, but I think it's very important because when you buy an insurance policy, for you guys that are really bored and want to understand what insurance is, you're basically borrowing a promise that we're going to be around to pay when you have a claim. And so AM Best is a rating agency that rates insurance companies. And they rate your ability to pay claims that meet your financial obligations. And so what I'm really proud of our companies on this slide is there are over 2,600 insurance carriers in the US. There's about 1,100 groups, but out of that 2,600, there's 64 that have been rated A or greater for 50 years or more. So we're one of those 64 companies in the United States that's been rated A or greater for 50 years or more. Even lower, we're one of 31 companies that have written premium in the top 200. So something extremely proud that we are of the fact that out of over 2,600 companies, when you fit it all together, we're in the top 31 with our financial ability and our growth. So something we sell to our agents that are sitting in the room here. I didn't even touch anything. I swear to God. Did you do that for me? Okay. Now I got to go back. Hold on. We're going forward. So talk a little bit about our financials. And I just wanted to share with you some of this as well. So in the state of Ohio, this may be surprising, but the property and casualty insurance industry, we're the 5th largest industry by gross domestic product, which is $32 billion. We have the 7th largest payroll and 11th largest employer in the state of Ohio. That is the property, the casualty insurance industry, which would include the agents in this room there. So where does Western Reserve fit in? And I took over in 2013. We have $245 million in written premium, which is your revenue. We have $370 million in surplus. And what is surplus? Surplus it's an indicator of a company's financial health and our ability to pay, again, claims. And we're at 0.65 to 1, which is probably better than one of the tops in the industry. Our assets for our size, $625 million, which is, again, a pretty significant amount considering all that we've undertaken, including a system transformation, we call it, which is a lifetime system transformation Ron, by the way, Holtman, who's sitting out there, is the chairman of our board, has been on the board since 2004. And you approved it back then, right, about 2004. We told you it was going to take us 6 weeks and cost about $10,000, right? Well, it's about 20 some years later and millions and millions of dollars. So, but once again, very, very proud of financial accomplishments over the last 10 years. So where do we fit in here locally? We wanted to share with you from our perspective. We have about 300 employees. And by the way, just like any other employer in town, we have openings. So if you know anybody needs a job, please feel free. We got customer service reps, underwriters, accounting, we got actuaries, we got product developers, we got software developers, you name it. So if you know anybody, have them give us a call. We're more than happy to take a look and interview them. So what do we do? What do we give to the city here? As you can see, we spend about, I should say, in income tax. We have 300 employees. We pay about $350,000 in income tax a year, about $400,000 in property taxes, and close to $272,000 in charitable contributions. So you can see the give backs that we give to the Worcester area financially. The next thing I was going to talk real briefly, well, actually not talk briefly about, this is something I'm probably most proud of that we started when I took over Western Reserve Group. It's our outreach mission. And it's a group, and our mission is to improve the culture and work environment for the employees and enhance employee involvement in community projects. Something, right, the Rotary is all about. So we have spent over, for the last 3 years, 3,582, apparently 0.25 hours. We must have an accounting person come up with that number. But VTO is volunteer time off. So what we do as an organization, we give each one of our employees 16 hours of volunteer time every year. They can volunteer to any one of those 501c3s that qualify. You can see some of the organizations that we've supported over the years. And I'm gathering from who I see a fair amount of you guys are in the room today. This group has raised over $16,000 to give to those organizations over the last couple of years. And you can see, this is some pictures of Forget Me Not, Red Cross. We've got over there Safe Communities we partner with, Meals on Wheels. I'm the designated driver for Meals on Wheels, which is kind of scary. But we do have a great time doing that. You can see the American Heart Association, Habitat for Humanity. We're pretty much engaged in just about every 501c3 that we can in the community. And if in fact you would like us or your organization would like some support and they qualify, please feel free to contact myself or one of our members. We'd be more than happy to entertain maybe getting engaged in your group as well. As a matter of fact, I think I see the Salvation Army out there, right? We ring the bells, I know. I got somebody out there ringing viewers, I think today or tomorrow. So this is something that I think that's very important. And Ron is a strong supporter of, is making sure that we engage in the community. So lastly, I was going to just spend a minute or two talking about our new building, our future. And I don't know how many people have seen it on Bendon Road. We did have an open house. Extremely proud of what we've done. The first building is on the right, was the original. And we added, again, the 80,000 square feet. So this is the first time since the 1960s that all of our employees have been at one location. So we've created a campus-like environment. Wooster Construction was the general contractor on the job. As you can see, that was it's our holiday time. So this was our Christmas tree. I should say not the Christmas tree. That was the last metal, whatever, that you put on the building that we did last year. It was kind of neat. It was signed by all of our employees and board members. So we put that in there. There it is inside. In case somebody's really bored and they want to go look at everybody's signature in the next 30 years, they can find it. But really, part of the area that we feel as a local community is the trades that we involve in this project. As I mentioned, Wooster Construction oversaw the project. There was G. Baker, I.M. Hoff, Morrison Construction Welding, Mock Woodward, McClintock Electric, Riceland Cabinets, and with all that glass, you can bet Richard Glass made a few bucks on this project. So we have a bridge, by the way. I'm not sure if we're the only building in Wayne County that has a bridge between the two buildings. That was our architect. He said he wanted to do one of those before he retired. It cost us a lot of money, by the way, but we made his retirement very successful for him. So as you can see, that's the group there. You know, the new building itself, we intend on having community events, which we've already had. We have a fitness center, a 3/4 mile walking path, and probably I have had more requests is we will be opening up a Joyful Cafe. You guys are familiar with the original Joyful Cafe at the hospital. We have a Joyful Cafe that will be open for our employees. I know Susan and some of the folks have asked if they need a special pass to come in the building. So we're gonna, I don't know, we're talking about DoorDash. This may become a profitable enterprise. I don't know. But anyhow, we're real excited about the ability to do that. So the last thing I just wanted to mention is with all that going on with the system and putting in a new system, building a new building, I am not touching anything. This is crazy. What? Yeah, that isn't me. You know that. Apparently you want me to speed this thing along. Holy smokes. Anyhow, so prior to this year, we were three separate operating companies, Western, Lightning, and Sonnenberg. What we do is you pool your assets together in a pooling arrangement. But quite frankly, it was a very archaic structure. It was set early in the 50s and 60s, and it didn't really set us up well to be relevant in the future. So what we did earlier this year, which was approved by our board of directors, by our members in the state of Ohio, is effective January 1st of next year. We're going to be organizing to a mutual insurance holding company. So what does that mean? Well, as you can see up top there, we've got a holding company, which is WRG Mutual Insurance Holding Company. It's a non-stock holding company, but it has to own 51% of the stock in WRG Holdings. So what we are now is a company that is a stock company in the holding company that has to own 51% to still be majority to be considered a mutual company. But what it really allows us to do, if you look to the right, is we get to create new subsidiaries. We're talking about getting into new products, creating new designs. I think one of the biggest areas for us is to invest in some more InsurTech technology. Right now, we're limited because of the way we're structured. It gives us more flexibility to do mergers and acquisitions. I can't tell you how many times I get called to affiliate with another company out of state, but the way that we're structured right now is a little bit troublesome. I should say it was cumbersome, so we've chosen not to do that. But lastly, what it does, and we don't need this, is if we need capital, we can issue stock in the future if we wanted to, if we needed to. So this, again, what it does is it allows us to remain relevant for many, many years to come. So I'm real excited about the organization is the employees are, so that we can now have some new tools and offer some new products in the future to our customers. So that was it for my prepared comments, unless there's some more slides in here that you had that I don't know about. You told me not to take too much time, which I didn't. So I think if somebody has any questions, if anybody has any question, feel free to ask one of your agents that's in the room.
What do you foresee as the impact of climate change?
You know, that's an interesting comment. So, question. So we buy reinsurance, correct? So back in 2012 and 2013, all the reinsurers, which I used to fly to London, and they kind of got off our account because of all the weather problems we had or challenges. So everybody had all these meteorologists, and the dynamics were that they were all going one direction, and the cost cycle was going really high in the climate. And then it changed the last 4 or 5 years, up until 2 years ago. It changed, and so it's interesting how all of the reinsurers are reevaluated. Do I think it's going to have an impact? Absolutely. The costs continue to go up. They've already shared with us that our costs, because we sell insurance, right? But we buy reinsurance because of catastrophic events. And so we've already been forewarned that because of all the flooding and all the major events, even though we didn't have them in this area, that it'll probably impact our pricing by 10 to 15%. So they're going to raise our prices. And I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to come up with different coverages or deductibles that'll impact us even more. So yeah, I think it's going to have a significant impact moving in the future. But it's kind of slowed down for a while. You know, like, I want to say probably in 17, 18, 19, you didn't hear much about it. Now it's really picked back up again. So, any other questions? Okay, so I can say yes. Hey, Larry, where you at, buddy? I thought you were going to ask me a question. I see Larry every morning swimming out there at Health Point. He's quiet now. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Do I think Ron really work?
Yes. Apparently, you know, that's a great, I don't know. But I will tell you this, we don't give you discounts for them anymore. We found out that actually, you know what they do? Seriously, if they are properly, we actually do get discounts, but they have to be properly, what am I thinking? Grounded down, so yes. So you can still sell them. Now, what has to happen is the lightning has to hit that rod, right? And not your air conditioning unit first, which is what we typically see, is that the air conditioning units get hit outside. Great question. But yeah, we tried marketing. I'm like, we got to change something because marketing lightning rod just isn't working. Any other questions? So, okay, I like Ohio State. Don't get me wrong. Okay, so you don't have to throw me out of it because this is a Christian place, right? So I'm a Notre Dame fan, all right? I got it. So somebody today in the elevator from Wogan was like, I said, how you doing? He goes, oh, not good. Terrible day, terrible day. I'm like, what's going on? He goes, wow. He goes, come on, Ohio State lost. I go, oh. I said, I felt bad, but I saw that it really impacted him. Like, oh, I thought maybe it was the Browns game last night or something like that. But anyhow, I'm just a college football fan. But anything else? And I guess the Browns didn't do so good because I woke up this morning and things were pretty rough with them too. It could be worse. You could be a Browns fan, I guess, right? Have 4 interceptions and still lose. Yeah. Oh, you are too. You really had a rough day. Yeah. Monday couldn't come soon enough for you. Perfect. Well, hey, thanks. I appreciate the time. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know.
Thank you, Kevin. We appreciate you taking the time to visit us today. Give us an update on the Western Reserve Group. And I was really impressed with your outreach mission and focusing on that in the community. That's great. We appreciate that. Thank you. In recognition of your time with us today, we have this rendition of the Rotary wheel with a 4-way test on the back, and these are made locally by the Village Network.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, I'm going to give everybody some time back today. So, and that did, you know, really, us Ohio State fans, that really does impact. We're not used to losing to Michigan, so you know.
I'm not Michigan fan.
So next week, just a reminder, our speaker next week will be Bob Walton, and his talk will be traveling 150,000 miles during COVID, discoveries and lessons learned. So that should be interesting. We will also be distributing our checks to our youth groups and community partners for the Flag Project. So make sure you put that on your calendars, and we will see you next week. So have a good week, Rotarians. We stand adjourned.